A maxed level Builders Hall 8. Let's show you attacks and gameplay as well as footage from the brand new troop, the Super P.E.K.K.A. I'm your host, Judo Sloth. Make sure to subscribe for all of my Clash of Clans content, but today on the developer build we're going to bring you some attacks of a maxed out Builders Hall 8, test out some strategies with the Super P.E.K.K.A, some of the strategies that currently work in the builder's base, so let's dive straight into it. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoy this and let me know what you are planning to use. If you haven't seen my video on the Super P.E.K.K.A versus every single defense, what we found is that it was very good at tanking them splash damage defenses so you could get your other troops in. So what I think we're going to do hitting this first base, we have a crusher on either side. It's very good for tanking the giant cannon as well. Make sure to let me know what you're going to use the Super P.E.K.K.A for, but I think we're going to come in with it being a ground troop with some barbarians. Let's bring some bombers to get through that initial wall, and also since we have a high HP troop tanking, we might as well bring in some of the troops that do really high damage in terms of the cannon cart. So I think we'll leave it there for the composition. Gonna come in from the bottom here to try and easily tank the giant cannon so that we can divert the battle machine away from it, and let's get into it. Try and make a bit of a funnel here with the barbarians to start with. Let's spread the bombers out. I am then going to get the cannon carts kind of spread out as well, but I'm going to wait off the Super P.E.K.K.As because I do not want the Super P.E.K.K.As going around the side of the base. I think we're good to bring them in now. Let's get the battle machine over to the opposite side. Try and get some barbarians in again to try and help these cannon carts. We really don't want them going down. As you can see, they have taken some damage in the middle. We're just about to be able to get some barbarians into the center. Giant cannon is going to go down. We haven't managed to save any barbarians for the back end of the base in order to help with percent, which isn't the best. There is that Super P.E.K.K.A overcharged ability, almost able to get that archer tower down. You can see even if we'd have saved a couple of barbarians, we could have got so many of these buildings on the back end of the base. But this really does just show you the Super P.E.K.K.A, man, using it to tank for these other troops, losing it to a spring trap, and the overcharged ability obviously does nothing in mid-air. But 66% blasting forward towards that base, not too bad. Let's try a different composition. For this second attack then, why not have a little bit more fun? What we'll do after this is bring you a couple of attacks of strategies that work well at the moment. The Drop Ship Minion, some baby dragons, the Barbarian Rush, but I want to keep things with the Super P.E.K.K.A initially. Let's try just using Super P.E.K.K.As to tank for the cannon carts and see how that one goes. We do have a couple of bombers in there as well, but let's maybe get a Super P.E.K.K.A walking around either side, and it means we can get these bombers in. Then let's go ahead and just bring one in the middle alongside the cannon carts. Let's maybe take one cannon cart around the side, battle machine in towards that crusher, but really what we want is the giant cannon tank for. Look at that P.E.K.K.A getting thrown forward there. It is going to get that double cannon down, which is good. Battle machine around the outside, pressing that ability for the crusher, and you can see the cannon carts though have indeed gone down. They've taken too much damage. Not great, because we really needed them to finish off the builders hall. As you can see, we have one over on the left hand side, which is indeed going to get that down. 2-star again, P.E.K.K.A on the other side of the base. Oh, he would have taken out the guard post troops there, but just not able to. Will we get the exact same percentage? Imagine that, guys, 66%. Would you believe that we have gone ahead and done that? Were the strategies exactly the same? Who knows? Let's get into another attack though. Before we move on to some popular strategies at the moment, why don't we try a mass Super P.E.K.K.A attack just to see how this one turns out? I've brought along some bombers just because I feel we really need them to get into the base. One extra Super P.E.K.K.A probably wouldn't help, so let's go ahead and see how this one turns out. We've got a bit of tankage along the side of the base there. I think getting the battle machine in early is probably going to be helpful. Then I believe waiting and getting the two Super P.E.K.K.As to split hit either side of the middle here is probably the wisest thing to do. One of them again getting blasted forward by that push trap. He is going to be able to get that double cannon down. It really does come down to opening up this compartment for the Super P.E.K.K.A to get in and take out that giant cannon, getting the battle machine's ability there. Super P.E.K.K.A using that overcharged ability to get some damage onto the Builder's Hall, and can we indeed go ahead and get the 2-star? Looks like the guard post troops doing a lot of work, but another Super P.E.K.K.A has came in here, and oh, are they going to take out? Oh, one of them got a swipe onto the Builder's Hall. I thought they might have indeed taken out with that overcharged ability. Amazingly enough, we get the 2-star with the Super P.E.K.K.A on this one. Brilliant stuff. Let's try out the Dropship and Minion strategy next. So the thing about the Dropship and Minion strategy now is we have an extra army camp. We can actually take 3 camps of Dropship and 3 camps of Minions. What I'm going to do is come down from the bottom again, from that exact same side to be honest, because there's less air damage in that area. We do have 2 firecrackers, but it's not too bad. The air bomb is kind of over the other side of the base, but more importantly, we do indeed need to try and get that giant cannon down so that the battle machine can get into the base. So let's go ahead and do this, bring around the dropships and then the minions to come and try and clean up the rest of the base. Let's get them a little bit thicker coming through the middle there. As the dropships move forward, obviously they'll pop the skeletons onto the ground. Really good to set off, you know, any of them defenses, and the air traps obviously going off there as well. And let's just see how things go. What's worked brilliantly here, amazingly, is the dropships have gone right the way over the top of that giant cannon, which is exactly what we wanted. What I want to do is wait to see if we can get the crushers down, and then from there put the battle machine in. However, looks like they're actually doing fantastic here. Gonna get the 2-star. Let's get the battle machine on the back end. I really wish we could get in there and take out that air bomber, but it's not going to happen, guys. 2 stars with just the dropship. Remember, this is a single base layout. Things will adapt as people get into the Builder Hall 8, the Mega Tesla. We will be able to see base layouts adapt to this, so you know, don't make any conclusions here based on my attacks. We are actually going to wrap up with 64%, so not quite as good as the Barbarian strategy, but certainly nice and safe there. Let's move on to the next one. The mass Barbarian strategy. This is personally one of my favorites ever since Builder Hall. I know it was kind of meta at Builder Hall 5 as well, but Builder Hall 6 is really where I started getting into this strategy. And as you can see, if we come from the top of the base, the opposite side, we might be able to avoid the crushers. The only thing I'm a little bit worried about is that it's a bit more tricky to angle the battle machine away from the giant cannon, but we will try our best, guys. So I'm not going to get too fiddly here. I'm just going to bring in the Barbarians in a nice little line to create that funnel alongside the bombers. I'm going to put another one on that other side, because what I do not want is them not being able to break open that compartment for my battle machine, because I really need the battle machine to do its work on the outside away from the giant cannon. So I really need this bomber to do its job and get this wall open so I can angle the Barbarians a little bit better onto the defenses here. Obviously I didn't do that good of a job in terms of protecting the bombers, so that is why they've gone down. Let's try and get some Barbarians onto that crusher, the roaster, sorry. If we can get that down, then we are looking good for the Builder's Hall. The battle machine has indeed gone down already. I'm going to put a couple of extra Barbarians in there to try and get that Builder's Hall, spread the rest around, and then actually I've started putting more into the center, but it's not needed. Looks like let's get some onto that Mega Tesla, see if we can get that one down. So the Mega Tesla, look at it roasting the Barbarians. A mass of them is indeed going to get it down. 74% on this one by trying to avoid the crushers, and I am certainly not an expert at that attack strategy. I try and avoid the splash damage, but my surgical deployment is certainly not at the level of some people. 74% though, brilliant stuff. Alright, the mass baby dragon strategy. Let's give it a try. I'm going to pretend that this little gap in the base isn't there, because clearly we probably wouldn't want that in a base layout. I don't know how I've kind of overlooked that one, but let's just see about... I tell you what, let's just surround the base with the baby dragons and see how things turn out. So let's just go ahead and do this. and, well, we'll just keep our fingers crossed and hope that they take down the base pretty well. Obviously, surrounding the base, they're going to get in and get maximum percentage, but it's whether they can actually lock onto the builder's hall itself. Let's try and get one directly targeted onto some of these air defense, get them down as quickly as possible. Then the baby dragons might have a better chance at coming in towards the defenses at the bottom here. It looks like, let's get another baby dragon here. I'm going to try and focus my fire onto the giant cannon. That is really what we need down. Probably the double cannon over the other side of the base as well would be nice to get down, but I think not looking good here. I'm going to try and target this last... Whoa, the Mega Tesla blasted that baby dragon. We have indeed got the 1-star, but I think the battle machine, look at all the defenses in the middle. We've basically taken out all of the trash buildings. I really can't see how we can do this, guys. I think maybe bringing him in from over here is the best shot at trying to avoid the giant cannon, but really, he's going to get melted in a second. So only the 1-star for the baby dragons. Again, I did just kind of surround the base, so any of the experts there might be able to break down this base. Obviously, like we've said as well, looking at the base layout and how centralized the defenses are, to be honest, I would never attack it with baby dragons. I'd always go for that barbarian style strategy where we can come in and avoid the crushers. So not surprising that on this layout we only get the 1-star for the baby dragons. Okay, so for the final attack of the video, let's try and break down the base a bit logically. Coming in from the right hand side, we'd have the furthest distance to travel towards the builder's hall. Now what I do notice about this is the giant cannon is obviously key. It's right next to the builder's hall naturally, so in order to get in and get that builder's hall, we have to think about trying to take that out. Coming in from the south is probably the easiest to path onto it, and actually when we had the drop ships a little bit earlier, they tended to work quite nice, so I'm going to try and get the drop ships in order to take that down. I'm going to bring some bombers as well, because I think trying to get the battle machine in from this other side is going to be wise, and some cannon carts will certainly be helpful. I do want to implement a Super P.E.K.K.A, but I think maybe... I was thinking archers to snipe off buildings, but maybe the barbarians will get more of them in order to create a little bit of a path for our troops. So I think that's our army. Let's give it a try. So let's try and create a little bit of a funnel here for our dropships. We need that Tesla down, to be honest with you. So let's get a couple in. A few of them targeted the gold storage there. Not what we wanted, but let's go ahead, get a couple more in, and then bring the dropships in as well. So we really want them dropships to get over towards the giant cannon. Then let's get the bombers in alongside the cannon carts, the Super P.E.K.K.A and the battle machine. So as a little bit of a safety net, I've tried to put the Super P.E.K.K.A in closer to the giant cannon because it has indeed locked onto it, and it looks like though that it's going to get damage onto the battle machine as well. The dropships haven't quite done what we wanted them to do in terms of getting the cannon carts. The giant cannon, keep getting them mixed up, but the cannon carts have done their job. One of them now locks onto the builder's hall. This P.E.K.K.A, when it goes down, should indeed help take all of them Godboar's troops out. Not quite them all, but it looks like we've actually wrapped up at around about the 2-star here. The bombers have just about got it. Cannon cart going around the outside of the base, and surprisingly, when we tried to break down the base logically, we didn't actually get as good. Looks like we're going to be kicked out as well for not having a shield, so that will wrap up the video. We are going to get a couple of extra % with the bombers again, but I hope you have enjoyed this one. I've been your host, Judo Sloth, and until next time, peace out, guys.